can say definitively that religions are all bullshit.
Welcome to Brainstorm.
We have the explicit tag for a reason.
This is a base level argument to a higher level morality.
I get paid to science?
To science as much as one can science.
What the hell was my point?
Trigger warning. The Brainstorm podcast will criticize your most cherished beliefs. We attack nonsense in all its forms and discuss difficult subjects. If you peddle pseudoscience, supernatural woo, or religious dogma, then this is not your safe place. This is the home of hardcore skepticism.
That's fucking awesome.
That's fucking awesome. Okay, to those listening live or to our patrons, welcome back. For those listening weekly, welcome to the Shift to Reason Radio, the Brainstorm production that focuses on science outreach and education. We'll try our hand at teaching you a little bit about common skeptical topics.
We're going to learn you.
Logical fallacies and errors in reasoning, as well as a bit about religious apologetics. This episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Sign up for your free trial membership and free audiobook at audibletrial.com/brainstorm.
Did Audible actually say they want to do this part, or did you just throw it in there? For this
I do
segment?
what I want, motherfucker.
Okay. I do what I want.
Okay. Let's play the Woo Report bumper, and then we'll do some woo and bad science.
I'm not a scientist, but if I can tell you your science sucks, then your science really sucks.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
So, my story is actually from Forbes, but it's from the author Emily Willingham instead of Coven's Synapathy. I think I said that right that time.
Way to insult her right after she's on there. my levels went insane. Everything's stupid loud.
Anyway, so this article from Forbes is talking about an article from Second Nexus, which claims that new research establishes that intelligence is inherited from your mother, and that intelligence is supposedly linked to the X chromosome. It says, quote, children are likely to inherit intelligence from their mothers because intelligence genes are located on the X chromosomes and mothers have two. Does that seem like specious reasoning to you?
Well, you're screwed then.
What about people who have two fathers?
Or what about, well played, sir. So mothers do have two X chromosomes. That's a fact. However, daughters tend to get one of their X chromosomes from their father. So,
but I'm guessing that's not the intelligent one, according to this guy.
Yeah, that's the dumb one.
That's the dumb X chromosome.
That we got from our mothers. What?
What?
Why do I have this funny feeling that they got this, they watched that Simpsons episode, and then they wrote this article? The one where it's Lisa's all parent, because like...
all the women are smart and all the men are dumbasses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, apparently, according to the Forbes article, I mean, I'm going just off of the one source. The mother's two X chromosomes are not identical and doesn't actually double the likelihood of a particular gene passing on, which seems reasonable to say. The mother only passes one X chromosome onto their children, and the father obviously passes an X or a Y that determines the sex.
That's right.
Whatever is on the X from the mother can pass on to the child. The father can also pass on an X to a daughter. The double
does, not can.
Yes. Well, yeah, he can pass on an X, which would create a daughter.
There you go.
Yeah. The double X that a girl child gets is adjusted downward. each cell turns off most of one of the X chromosomes. So even if something does pass on via the X chromosome, it may not manifest because of the way some cells shut down part of the X. And everyone has an X chromosome, even dumb people. So people who are intelligent and are looking for this from their mother specifically, well, so apparently dumb people also have an X chromosome.
So,
but why male models?
But why male models? That's a good question. But why are male models dumb is the question.
Sorry, I was just watching.
Is that a generality?
But I was just going to say, the question is, are male models dumb?
That's the question.
Can you generalize? That's a fallacy by itself. To say that they all are.
I wasn't saying that at all.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
I was just throwing out a line from Zoolander.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yes. Covered that. Short of a deletion, everyone gets the genes that are on that chromosome. Second nexus site is really talking about a gene variant that may be linked with intelligence. Not just genes in general, but just a specific variant of a gene. So they estimate that half of what we consider intelligence is inherited, and the other half is a combination of environment and other chemical influences.
Half nature, half nurture?
In a sense, that's the estimated-ish.
So I have a question. Are there any credible sources for this, or is this just like an opinion piece type thing?
Well, there was a study that kind of showed some correlation.
Kind of.
So dumb people had dumb kids?
So that's
Smart
where the
people had smart
second
kids?
Nexus article came from. Is what there was a study that showed a correlation of sorts, and so they drew these conclusions. So basically, it's insufficient to say that you get your intelligence from your mother.
So it may suggest that you do, but ever so slightly.
Yes, it may suggest to some degree.
My issue with that is how complex the brain is.
Yes, that's a huge part of it. Just in that was, like you say, approximately half of intelligence is considered an inherited trait. The rest is a combination of multiple factors, including environment, and that half is very important as well, right? Like, it's not like only half of it matters.
Yeah, well, otherwise there would have been no progression, and we'd still be banging sticks on the ground.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Or just grabbing pussies randomly.
Yes.
And electing people to president to do that.
Apparently some people are still there.
There you go.
Well, you can't have a binder full of women.
Well.
Mittens.
Well, according to this research, I can think of one orange-haired dude who may not have had a very bright mother. Like, just if this is true,
based on this,
he probably had two fathers.
He got no X chromosomes.
No X chromosomes. That's why he's so white.
Nobody respects women more than Donald Trump.
Nobody does anything better than Donald Trump.
Women are so great.
I had a great mother.
She's
smart.
Know. You don't know.
I can't say great without thinking about Tony Bennett. Alec Baldwin's impression of Tony Bennett in Celebrity Jeopardy. Great.
Bang.
Great. Yes. Sorry, just totally bastardized that.
All right, so we have
Not
another
that there's
story.
anything wrong with Tony Bennett.
Renee, you also have a story.
Yeah, I don't know if I can follow that up because this one's a whole lot of stupid and a little bit depressing.
All right, here we go.
Okay. Anyway, apparently there was a mother in Pennsylvania who was charged with child endangerment because she put her 11-month-old child on a very strict vegan diet, extreme vegan diet. And apparently it was at the critical developmental age, so wasn't getting enough nutrients, so was developing, didn't have proper motor skills, had a rash, just generally not in good shape.
Oh dear.
And so when her ex-husband, I think they were divorced. I didn't quite get that from the article. But anyway, he got concerned, went to child services. They took the child away, and apparently plus side of it is the kid is now doing quite well, bounced right back after they get in proper nutrition. And she's been charged with, child endangerment. And so when I was kind of reading it, like, it's a small article, it's just kind of pretty much just a blurb, like, this woman got arrested, this is what happened. The aunt made a comment about how, like, she was an extreme vegan, was just talking about living on water and sunlight, which I kind of took that as a smart-ass comment, honestly. Yes. Like, I watched the video that was part of it. But looking into it, like, they were saying how they were just feeding the kid fruits and nuts. So I'm just kind of like, okay, so I'm like, I'm going to look a little further into this. So I typed in extreme veganism just to see what would pop up. And it took me to read a Wikipedia article on veganism. And apparently you can, with children, you can be a vegan and get enough protein and everything will be fine. You just kind of have to watch, make sure
closely.
You have to watch the diet, make sure everything is covered. Now, under this extreme veganism banner, there is something called fruitinism.
Okay.
Which is an idea that you can only eat fruit that has fallen off the tree. It doesn't harm the tree in any way. This one gets into the dangerous one because there's basically as what I found on the Wikipedia article. They said, where is it? Where did I wrote that down? Nutritionists say that adults shouldn't follow a fruit-only diet for very long.
Right.
It's not recommended for teens and totally not right for kids.
Don't fucking do it for kids.
Don't do it for kids because there's just not enough protein, enough variety in that specific of a diet. And then the other thing it said in there, which kind of makes sense, was that they had an article of like celebrities that had been on this fruit diet or whatever, and one of them was actually Steve Jobs.
Oh,
and apparently,
too late, Steve.
When this is where it gets weird. Is that apparently when Ashton Kutcher was, getting into character for the Steve Jobs movie he did, apparently he went on this fruitinism diet, threw his fucking pancreas all out of whack.
Right.
Oh, wow.
What killed Steve Jobs? Pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
No, idiocy killed Steve Jobs.
Well, that's a more succinct, statement. But at any rate, so yeah, this it sounds like I'm just kind of making my own, connecting my own dots. But it sounds like this woman put her own kid on this fruitinism diet, which is obviously extremely dangerous and bad for the kid.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of a misnomer to say fruitinism too, because you think all fruit. There's not all fruit is voluntarily surrendered by a plant.
Well,
still edible, right?
If you go into the article, like it's like every kind of veganism. There's variation. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's
but all of them are the same, and it has to be something that you eat that the plant surrenders, that doesn't hurt the plant. So you like wheat is out.
Yeah.
Right. Most nuts are okay.
Fuck off.
Most fruits are okay.
So dumb.
That's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, you can't get enough minerals for one thing.
Wow.
You can't get half of your vitamins that you need.
Yeah.
Even though you can always just take a vitamin supplement.
Well, that's what they're saying is that
Supplements.
most veganisms they take
You have to.
supplements, and that's actually the one common problem. It said in what I was reading is they can't get B12. B12 does not exist in just fruit or vegetables.
Yeah.
So you have to take a supplement. So these extreme versions of an already extreme diet just is not healthy.
Yeah, I think there was a while back where somebody fed their pet a strictly vegan diet.
I read that. I thought that was actually I thought that was a satire site.
I read. I'm sure the one I read was not a satire.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just read it as satire.
And yeah, because it seems ridiculous.
Yeah,
it should be a satire.
It was like they try to make their cat vegan,
and
the one animal you can have as a pet that all it can eat is meat.
Yeah, that's right.
It.
Yeah,
it can't
and
metabolize
ultimately
anything else.
It's just this idea of feeding your child based on your ideology rather than what's scientifically sound, or like it's just this nonsense kind of mentality that.
Well, and I know what's best for my child. Science doesn't know what's best for my child.
Right. It's the same mentality that causes people to be
The child came out of my uterus
anti-vaccine.
and through my vagina, so I should fucking be able to say what's best for my child.
Right, because
women are just naturally maternal. That's just the way it works.
Absolutely.
Right.
Every one of us.
Yeah, for sure. They know the absolute scientific facts.
Yes.
They got a degree in science.
Yes.
Of whatever kind necessary.
By process of hormones.
Just name a science. I have a degree in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I have all the degrees.
No, you don't.
Great.
My best
No, you don't
friend's a
even
degree.
know.
My best friend's a degree.
I got all these women. They got all the degrees.
Your degrees are great. You have great degrees.
His degrees are huge.
Huge.
No one has more degrees than I do.
Oh shit!
Yes.
So translation: just because you have a kid doesn't make you
just because you
parent.
have a kid doesn't make you smart. I should know.
We know.
I feel a hell of a lot dumber since I had kids. I was a stepmom for way longer than I've been a mom, and yeah, I'm getting progressively dumber, I think. Or just realizing that I don't know as much as I thought I did.
Maybe
that's the difference.
The more you know you don't know.
Exactly.
There's actually a pie chart.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I love
Shit
pie.
I know, little
Shit I
tiny
know.
piece.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shit I know I don't know. Or no,
Slightly bigger tiny piece.
Yeah.
Shit
and
I don't know I don't know.
Is it the whole pie.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Gumby, your turn.
Yes.
Just as you're about to take a drink. Good.
Eating nibs and drinking Powerade.
Well, it's better than raw milk. I mean, nothing's better than raw milk.
Yes,
According to this article, nothing.
So this article, which is from a legitimate source, it's a great paper. It's scientific.
Are you being sarcastic?
Very. So the
Just wanted to
United
clarify.
States, I'm just going to read it. I'm just going to read the whole fucking thing. It's just going to take me like a minute.
Okay, you read it.
I'm great at reading.
The best.
Nobody can read as good as I do. The reason I want to read it is because it's so chock full at the beginning of links of garbage. So, the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA, just in case somebody couldn't figure that out, it's in there, would like us all to believe that raw milk is a flaming health hazard, because it is. Sorry, that was underlined.
Commentary is Gumby's.
Yes, it was underlined and bold. Rawmilk.news. That's a legitimate place to go for your information.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
They'd like us to believe that raw milk is a flaming health hazard with the potential to cause a national disaster. Because it can.
Because it can.
What could be more toxic than raw food, right? That must be what is making our nation sick, not the overconsumption of genetically modified, pesticide-laden, that's GMOfood.news foodstuffs.
Shoot me now.
Right? Oh, it gets even more gooder. However, a recent study published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology.
Yeah, that sounds like a legit thing.
Yeah. Not
you say that
not
again?
The Journal
Say that
of,
again.
the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe it's a legit journal.
Legit.
Well, sure, it's a journal.
Maybe. Let's see.
I have a journal.
What
at
did they
home.
claim?
That consuming raw milk will not, in fact, be a death sentence. That's from evil.news. Researchers, doctors, and other medical professionals from across Europe joined forces to investigate the effects of consuming raw milk.
Dentists don't get to have an opinion.
No. And revealed that
Fuck
raw milk
dentists.
isn't just not toxic, but also yields some impressive health benefits.
It's not necessarily the milk.
Tell me
that's the problem,
more.
I think.
What kind of health
I think
benefits?
it's the bacteria in the milk.
First off, it says researchers. It doesn't say what type.
Right.
It says doctors. Doesn't say what type.
Yep.
And also, doctors don't know things. They're not going to know what pasteurization does. That's not their field.
You'd think that they know the basic principles.
They should. Yeah. But, okay, continue.
But you can have a doctorate in a lot of things, like sculpture.
So I'm going to guess that this study
I'm done reading.
doesn't
That's as far as
actually
I'm going.
say what they're claiming it says.
Health benefits.
I mean, just off the cuff, I'm just going to guess that if that's a legit study, then they're drawing conclusions that aren't.
It says it can help
necessarily supported.
prevent viruses.
No.
Nothing can help prevent viruses except
Except cancer. Wait. Sorry.
Prayer.
God.
Ginger. Cinnamon. Turmeric.
Believing hard enough.
Well, I mean,
Believing hard enough.
well, the thing is, it seems like it's prefaced on the fact that it
Or
helps,
antivirals,
it
maybe.
helps the immune system. So in that sense, if it helps
Sure.
the immune system, then it would help.
It helps the immune system by attacking the immune system.
Well, no, but I'm just like playing into what their line of logic. They say if it helps the immune system, then yes, it would fight off like viruses of sorts. I mean, your immune system.
Except that's not how the immune system
Well,
works.
no, but I mean, if it's going to strengthen your immune system by protecting your body from sicknesses,
Right.
then in a sense, like if it strengthens the immune system, you'll be less likely to.
Because these people believe that a boosted immune system is a positive
Right.
and not
Yeah.
an immunodeficiency issue.
Yeah.
Well, they're also were more worried about inflammation than anything else. Like the states
Well,
that
yeah.
unprocessed cow's milk and rhinitis, cold or runny noses.
But this is how they decided.
Okay.
So, for the study, these researchers, I don't know any other way to make it sound obvious, and I'm doing air quotes,
Researcher.
recruited a group of pregnant women who were in their third trimester.
Okay.
Approximately half of the women lived and worked on livestock farms
How many?
in rural
How many
areas.
women?
Approximately half.
No, like what was the total?
What was
There's
their
a total
sample
of
size?
of just under 1,000.
Okay. Sure. I'll buy that.
They all lived on farms?
Half.
Half of them.
Half
Okay.
worked on livestock farms in rural areas, primarily in Central Europe. The researchers asked the women to detail their dietary and lifestyle habits.
Self-reporting.
Yeah, self-reporting, including their milk consumption. The information was then evaluated and compared. They're not saying what.
To what?
Right. They're not alluding to what the other half of the sample is.
Okay.
In total, 983 children were included in the final data set,
Okay.
which is what revealed the truth about it just says raw in the underlined stuff. And then this huge fucking link that's
Of course.
coldbrewcoffee.naturalnews.com/
Oh,
cold brew coffee.
I heard natural news in there though.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, so you know it's good.
It's legit.
So raw milk, right? Yeah. The immune boosting health effects are far superior to that of conventional pasteurized milk. Because based on what they're eating and stuff, they can just decide that they're getting better.
They believe
it's
in
a bullshit study. These are people that think they know how to do research and studies.
They believe in the power of a boosted immune system.
Right.
They believe in, they deny the idea of bacteria, harmful bacteria.
Yeah, things like E.
entering-
coli, salmonella, and listeria.
You know, things that are eliminated by the pasteurization process.
Things that, I don't know, been known to fucking kill you.
That's right. Oh,
So they didn't take any other factors. Like you could easily deduce that the correlation. Like, what about the farm living? Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe they were healthier
they were living outside and being
because
healthier
they were
and actually doing physical work and
physically active. Yeah.
instead of sitting on their couches.
They were eating more dirt. They weren't living in a concrete.
The pregnant women.
Yeah,
Eating more dirt.
dirt's supposed to help your immune system, isn't
When
it?
you're pregnant.
Yeah, I ate so much dirt. when I was pregnant.
dirt
normal.
and raw milk might be on similar levels.
Yeah. Double the immune boosting. I put dirt in my milk.
Dirt shakes.
Dirt shakes.
Dirt shakes.
I feel like this should be on the show notes for the next podcast.
Throw it in the blender.
Eating dirt.
Eating dirt.
Boost the
dirt.
immune system.
That's
it's
worth looking
honestly,
into.
I think it's legit. I think it's legit.
Eating dirt is legit.
How many kids do it and they don't die?
Right.
So
Most.
many.
Most
don't die from it.
My granddaddy ate dirt
Most don't die from
98
this.
years of his life.
As,
And he lived to be 198.
twice. I'm going to say that as an adult, boosting your immune system is bad. As a kid, it's not as bad. It's better when you're young to boost your immune system a bit, but not with shit like bacteria that's in raw milk.
Right.
As on a regular basis, the odd bacteria or whatever that's in dirt. Because the volume that you're consuming is so low that it's more like a vaccination for just
which
based
are
on the
bad.
Right. Well, yeah, sure. Eating dirt causes autism. All right.
Yes.
Causes the autisms.
The autisms.
I'm not suggesting that eating large handfuls of dirt is,
Yeah, and I
but
don't mean-
just like not washing your hands all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
And
Letting
not-
yourself actually get hit by some bugs.
Yeah.
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 I don't mean boosting the immune system like let's put this thing into overdrive.
You
right?
mean by developing a regular
actually
immune
developing
system?
an actual properly functioning one.
Yes.
By regular living and exposure to regular amount of bacteria.
Yes.
Why are all your kids covered in shit? Well, it's good for them. I'm doing my best to make them healthy, making sure they build up a really good immune system.
Don't you
Don't you know
science?
you rub this shit all over them and their immune system goes way up.
But you can't just use one person's shit. You got to get it from everywhere. So walking around with a bucket. You know how hard it is to get people to shit in a bucket?
Collect the neighbor's shit.
You could start a spa.
Well, you should try.
Start a
sewer spa.
Yes.
You should
That'd
try
give-
bringing a cup. I hear that's easier to.
That's good. Gives new meaning to the mud bath.
The mud bath.
Yes.
The shit bath.
Do you want a shit mask today?
It's a new
fecal
type of
soak.
sauna.
Got shit on your face. Fresh shit on your face.
Yes. And then they put sugar in it, and then it helps exfoliate.
I think we've done making fun of
Well,
this.
no. Because they have sensory deprivation tanks. If you just if the shit's liquidy enough,
No.
Oh,
All right.
you can soak in it for hours. And be transcendent.
All right.
Oh no.
There is
You
one
can
on
take
the
a
first
colon
floor.
cleanse at the same time.
The first floor of this building has a sensory deprivation tank, so if you'd like to
hey.
start accumulating
They
shit
may
in
or
the
may not
bathtub.
appreciate
I don't think they want to take Gummy's suggestion.
Just save your
Oh,
poop.
shit.
Just save it.
Just save it.
We could run a
What does
line
it cost?
downstairs.
Okay, Dave. What does it cost to say? What does it cost to use the sensory deprivation tank?
Sorry, Corey's dying.
Yeah. I think I totally missed whatever was being said.
What does it cost?
No, not for the shit one. The regular use of the sensory deprivation.
$75 1 hour. It's like a massage. Same cost.
Okay.
I could deprive myself of all of my senses for about $45 from the SLGA.
Oh, jeez.
Just a 40 of whiskey, and I ain't got no senses left.
A 40? A 40? That's a lot.
That's a
I
lot,
must be a
yeah.
lightweight.
He's a big man.
I'm 350 pounds.
All right.
I'm a
Holy
big
cow.
fucking person.
Anyway.
Actually,
Well, that was good.
I probably would be unconscious after 40.
You probably
this
would.
is supposed to be educational.
You're supposed to be educational.
But somehow we started talking about fecal sensory deprivation tanks, and yet
Wasn't the first part of the show the serious part? Now we get to be fun.
no.
Shit.
We are,
Indeed.
Whoops.
Join us next week when we talk about urine.
You're in for a treat.
oh God. All right.
If you like what we're doing and want to help us keep the lights on, go become a patron at patreon.com/brainstorm podcast. You can hear the bonus half hour that we record every episode and get a shout out when you support the show. Become a patron for just $1 an episode at patreon.com/brainstorm podcast. Or you can support the show by ordering a t-shirt, mug or other gear from our store at caffeepress.ca/brainstorm podcast gear. If you can't afford to become a patron or buy gear, then why not give us a rating or write a review on iTunes or Stitcher? Every rating makes it easier for people to find us. Thanks for your support.
We are given one life, full of billions of small and large decisions. To be somebody, to change, to be kind, to give hope, to become a better person, and to leave a lasting impact on this planet. It is a decision to be made every single day while your heart is still beating. We've made our decision. Absence of clothing. Atheist and science-based apparel and merchandise, donating 50% of our profits to charity. Look good and feel good, without God. Check us out at absenceofclothing.com and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest for discount codes and other sweet swag.
Use the code BRAINSTORM at absenceofclothing.com and get 10% off.
Hi, this is Trav Mamone, host of the By Any Means podcast. Join me every week as I interview bloggers, podcasters, writers, and activists about the intersections of atheism, humanism, racial justice, feminism, LGBTQ rights, and other social issues. You can subscribe to the podcast through iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher, and you can read my blog at freethoughtblogs.com/byanymeans. And remember, that's bi spelled B-I. Come take a listen to the musings of a queer humanist because, hey, aren't we all a little bi-curious?
Okay, segue into the educational shit
Somehow we're
now.
going to get over here now.
Educational shit.
Educational shit. Speaking of educational shit, Leo has some information about pyramid schemes.
All right. So could we all take 10 deep breaths before we start this next
We
segment?
could start a pyramid scheme with
All right.
shit spots.
All right.
Shut his mic off now.
So we're going to segue into
Slap
an
each of us in the
educational.
face.
We're going to do an educational
Yes.
segment now.
This is our attempt.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we're not going to attempt. We're going to do this.
We're
shit.
going to do it.
We're going to do
Good,
this.
good.
All right. So
Let's
a
do
brief introduction to pyramid schemes and multi-level marketing. So the basic concept that kind of overarches both of these is the network style, like merchandisers, where you get a lot of people to branch out and sell shit for you. That's what they both claim that they're doing. For those who didn't know,
Right.
So to differentiate pyramid schemes from multi-level marketing. So there are so many forms of pyramid schemes that you can't just say that this is what a pyramid scheme looks like and people will see it and know that it's a pyramid scheme. So they come in all shapes and colors. And So it's sometimes hard to tell which are pyramid schemes.
Right.
Hence why they continue to exist.
Yes.
Some of the main things that differentiate a pyramid scheme, which are illegal from a multi-level marketing. So pyramid schemes are very often not based on real products. So they don't actually have anything that they're selling, though their whole thing is that we will be selling stuff. And all of you will make a shitload of money by recruiting new members and getting commission off of all of them and selling just insane amounts of products to everybody. So that's what they kind of claim, but a lot of pyramid schemes don't actually have a product. So that is, when they don't have a product, that's pretty easy to spot that, so you don't actually sell anything.
Right.
So, and those are not the dangerous ones because people can normally spot, a lot of people can spot, if you don't have a product or don't even claim to have a product, then it's pretty easy to see that you're full of shit. Yeah. But, so the main thing that the main thing that these pyramid schemes that don't have a product, they will claim that at some point we will have a product and that we first need to create a network of people, and then once we have a network, we will quickly roll out the merchandise and everybody will be set up to start selling from day one.
Right.
So these pyramid schemes pretty much always have a pretty high fee, membership fee or investment, air quotes, that you have to get into this network of retailers.
Yep.
And so the way you make your money is by recruiting new members, and they pay you a fee and so forth. So, and in the end, they normally crumble after X amount of time, because once people find out that they are not actually making any money, because pyramid schemes, according to a couple of different statistics that I found, but from the Federal Trade Commission in the United States, they were saying that it's 90-some% of people who don't actually make a profit.
Right.
So it is a very small number of people who actually make a profit, and so once people realize, they drop out. So a couple of telltale signs of a pyramid scheme is if they don't have a product, or if they do have a product and people are not really buying it. If it's more of a logo type product that technically we're sort of selling this, but if the emphasis is on recruiting and membership and expanding the network, that is a very bad sign. The focus should always be on the product and less so on the network. So multi-level marketing, on the other hand, is legal, but it kind of crosses over to the pyramid schemes, and it's kind of hard to differentiate where it's multi-level marketing and when it's a pyramid scheme. So it's there's not a very good legal definition of exactly what is what. But multi-level marketing, I have a strong bias against them, because they are so often they are actually pyramid schemes.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
Definitely.
I just stay away from them altogether, and I think it's quite risky to get involved with them. But if people choose to, some of the things that you want to look for is, again, the opposite of the pyramid scheme. Are they actually selling a product? And are people actually buying this product? Not only the people in the network, but are people from the general public actually purchasing this stuff? Yeah. And also, it's a very bad sign if there is a membership fee, or especially if it's a kind of a high membership fee. That's a very bad sign that it's probably not a legit multi-level marketing. And so there are some multi-level marketing that sort of work, but even some of the better ones, air quotes, better ones, but something like Amway is technically a legit multi-level marketing,
right?
As legit as a multi-level marketer can be. But even with it, Amway, I think, was also, according to the Trade Commission, close to 90% of people don't actually make a profit.
Yeah.
So even within some of the, I guess, better examples, air quotes, of a multi-level marketing, it is still not really that great.
No. I grew up as a teenager with my parents in Amway.
Your parents?
My parents.
Oh, okay.
It's super, super religious, for starters.
Yeah.
They combine the prosperity type idea with the sales mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And they like to, there's a startup fee for your starter package.
Yes.
And you get products. So that's the value of the products, they say.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, you become a sales representative under your leader, who is under their leader, who is under their leader. And the goal is to recruit a minimum number of people under you who will all be buying all their household products from Amway, and you will get a commission off of those products. And so if you have a dozen people or 25 people and they all have a dozen people or 25 people under them, then you will start making some money. Like, the idea is that if you just keep recruiting people and everybody just buys their household products from Amway, then everybody will get rich.
That's right.
My mom got in fairly early. By fairly early, I mean like 2 years in, which is not on the ground floor by any means.
No.
Of NSA, which is a water filter company.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we were talking about it a couple months after she joined. She's like, well, what do you think of this stuff, actually? I'm like, honestly, and I'm a kid at the time. I don't know anything. I'm like, honestly, if their stuff's that good, why can't I buy it in a store?
Yeah.
And that's been the backbone of the argument ever since. Like, one of my coworkers is on that Beachbody stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Well, there's lots out there right now.
Shakeology
Yeah.
and whatever.
Shakeology, Melaleuca.
Yeah. She's like, this is the best
Beachbody.
stuff there is. Nothing is better than this. I'm like, if that was the case, I'd be able to buy it at Walmart.
Or Popeyes.
Or Popeyes.
Or GNC.
Or anywhere. I'd be able to buy it in a fucking store.
Yeah.
Right?
In a mall.
And I've done a bunch of research into MLMs and into pyramids. And the easiest way to differentiate between them is if you take the product away and just leave the money, like scheme it out on paper.
Mm-hmm.
If you just leave the money and nothing changes, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
If you take the product away and it doesn't function anymore, then it's multi-level marketing. But they're all, at the end of the day, they're all the same thing. They're all what's called a gifting circle.
Right.
Is what they're trying to allude to. Gifting circles are illegal. They have been forever.
Right.
And the way those work is you have a group of 50 people, right? And you go and recruit some people. You all have to recruit the same number of people to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
This is the way these went.
Okay.
So you each recruited 3 people. And everybody pitches in $50, right?
Right.
And then the person at the very top gets all that money.
Right.
And then the next guy in line goes to the top and everybody puts in $50.
Right.
Right. So every time you're only putting in $50, but eventually you're going to be the guy at the top that's taking out 600,000.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
No,
that is how pyramid schemes and multi-level
sounds
marketing
exactly
works.
like Amway, and it sounds exactly.
The only difference is in these pyramid schemes you don't take turns. It's only the one guy who's at the top, and he never shares those.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why multi-level marketing exists. It's the only reason. Yeah. If you had a product that would be revolutionary, you could sell to the guys late at night that would be slap chopping the shit out of your product for you.
Yes.
You know, those guys make millions of dollars on that stuff.
They do.
If the product's good, you're not going to buy it off some guy knocking on your door.
Well, and the product can still be good, but the nefarious ways of the business are a problem.
It's like, you know, the product is the same stuff that's like the white van phenomenon.
Yeah, it's not like an extraordinary product, but I mean, they can have a...
it could be a viable product, but it's not an amazing product that's revolutionizing the industry of that product.
Yeah,
the product is never the focus, right? Like the focus is the multi-level marketing to join people.
Yeah.
The
Because
product is only
even
there to make it legal.
But even in the multi-level, like legit air quotes, multi-level marketing, like where you, as legit as it gets, the product is still not the 100% of the focus. And when it is not really about making the network rich. And this is what people should think about. Like if you're going to join, if it is legitimate and multi-level, it's still you're basically making money for the company that's selling the products. Because if you have, let's say, a water filter, the reason why people start this multi-level marketing is because then they have all these people selling shit for them and not making a whole lot of money. Like these people get a small commission. They might, it's probably not worth their time, but all the origin of all these products is from one central company.
Right. The only people making money in Amway is Amway.
Yeah. So that's kind of the criticism of even Amway, like around 90% of people don't actually make money. Yeah. Like it's not worth their time.
And then they also like the only time you really do make money, and it looks like you're making money, but you're not technically making money, is when you buy your vitamin water and you buy your supplements and you buy everything that you can buy from yourself. So it looks like you're making money. Right. And then that's a huge part of it. And then you're selling it to your friends and your relatives.
Somehow, yeah.
Primerica is another example.
Yeah.
It's Primerica is really cheap insurance that was really expensive.
Yeah.
For the consumer.
Yeah.
Because it was bought cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The insurance itself is bought cheap by the insurance carrier and sold at a huge, huge profit.
Yeah.
And then the guy selling it doesn't make fuck all.
Yeah. I have a huge beef with Amway, like, because I've lost a very close friend / family member who has, like, any reasonable communication with her for the last decade has included her passion about her business, and it's always mentioned. It's never.
Oh yeah, that's.
There's no.
Oh God.
There's so much brainwashing.
Oh yeah, you're a business owner. You're a business person.
Hey, I have just the thing for you. Can I put a fucking mask on you tonight? Because no, let's just be friends.
Oh, I thought you meant like a leather one. I was like, well,
depends on the day.
That's for our bedroom talk podcast.
Yeah,
show up in leather gear.
My wife was involved in a few of these things.
Oh, leather
gear.
No.
You wish.
She was involved in Melaleuca.
No, she's really straight laced and nice.
True Star.
She's okay.
Vima.
Jeez.
Wow.
True Star actually burnt out. I actually visited their headquarters in Toronto.
Is that right?
I met Hal Johnson and
Joanne McLeod.
Yeah, they were like spokespeople for True Star at the time.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I will say one good thing about that company. They offered free like fitness and wellness like profiling.
Okay.
So you could like get workout plans, recipes, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
That's cool.
Calorie trackers. It wasn't it wasn't an outright shitty company.
Yeah.
But they did the multi-level marketing thing, and their product was good. Like they had protein powder and lots of workout stuff mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they got big for like 2 years, made a bunch of money, and then just and whatever. Like when you went there, it was hilarious. It was like this chapel it was like a corporate chapel basically. You just went in there and sat in this audience, and then Hal Johnson comes out in his sweatsuit and sells you this stuff, and he's a cool guy. Like I had fun with him, but they really know how to like woo over people who
they do.
Fall for that stuff.
It's scary.
Yeah.
One of the big things that really got to me was the idea that you have to pressure sales all your friends and family.
That's the worst part.
Into these fucking things.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're supposed to buy all your household products from these companies, but you're also supposed to be buying tapes from conventions, and you're supposed to be going to these conventions, and you're supposed to be attending all this sales shit, right? That's sales church.
It
exactly.
consumes your life. It really
I worked,
does.
I worked at the
right.
TNC in Weyburn, and the one waitress there. Did that go through?
Heard a little bit.
All right, whatever. I don't really care. So the one waitress there and one of the other people there are always really big into different multi-level marketings, and they call me. Still call me. They call my mom, get my phone number, and call me.
Yeah.
I haven't worked at that restaurant full time. Really worked there in 20 years.
Yeah,
ish.
Yeah.
And they still call
over
you?
a dozen times I've gotten calls from them. Wow. And the last time I said, this is like the 12th time you've called me on something, and it's always been something different. But this one, no, not. But this one, you've done this 12 times. None of them have worked.
Yeah.
You haven't made any money. You're not going to make any money.
Stop thinking that making money is easy.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the thing that, and I'm a creative person, and I'm interested in the business aspect of creativity, and this is something that I was reading earlier this week or last week, an article that specifically talked about the people that you associate with aren't your customers. This was the antithesis of that. Like, why are multi-level marketing? Why are they enlisting family and friends, or making those divisions between family and friends? I know of this family member, her sibling goes to those conventions,
right,
and participates in that on a kind of a pretend level to continue to associate with this family member who is so deep in the multi-level marketing and speaks at these conventions, and so that the relationships continue, and it's sickening. It's absolutely sickening to me.
I had one customer whose wife went and bought a pink Cadillac.
Oh,
just
Mary
so
Kay?
just so it would look like she was that successful with her Mary Kay.
Really?
She bought the fucking car herself.
Because
I've heard them suggest doing that. Actually.
yeah,
Like
I
places-
believe it. Yeah, because
I believe
fake it
it
till you make it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they tell you to look successful. It'll draw more people in. Blah blah blah.
Don't get me
Her
started
husband
on
was just fucking
Tupperware.
raging about it.
The level of dishonesty is frustrating.
Tupperware is
If you work for a company
bad shit crazy.
that tells you to fake it and lie, it's the wrong company.
No shit. Yeah, that's right.
Well, and if you're the kind of person to hear this family member talk about how I just want to find a man that I love who wants to be in business with me. I don't want to find a person to take on life with and maybe like go watch a fucking movie every once in a while. I want somebody to be in my business fucking
a movie
partner.
at the convention where
they
talk about how awesome
a
this company is.
motivational film. Fuck, that just makes me sick.
Someone that loves to watch Wall Street. They just
No, not Wall Street. Boiler Room. I don't know if you know that movie.
I don't know that one. I was
It's
just
pure
thinking
fake it till you make it.
I was thinking more like greed is good. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
But I ran into a consultant for a multi-level marketing firm. Like what they did was teach businesses how to start a multi-level marketing firm.
Right.
Oh wow.
So, and I have never been so repulsed by a person ever.
Yeah.
Like this guy, and he did. Oh.
Having flashbacks.
Just
a
visceral feeling.
So this is how our conversation went. Like he was in an office where I was working, and he was talking to somebody else, and I came and sat down. And somebody had told him that I was Mexican, though I don't look Mexican. And you know what the first thing this motherfucker said to me?
What?
He's like, "Oh, you're from Mexico. Mexican women are ugly." That was how he introduced himself. And I was just like, well, that may or may not be true, but you're a dick.
Yeah, like,
and then the
Did
next
he have kind of funny orange skin?
no. He was actually an extremely attractive dude who had the stereotypical used car salesman kind of vibe,
Right.
like the stereotypical one, the one that's just can upsell like a heap of rust and make it sound like a Porsche or something.
See, problem is when I think of
But-
stereotypical used salesman, I think of like bad suit and bathing in aqua velva.
He said
Well,
that.
that's
at least you didn't say when I think of typical used car salesman, I think of Gumby. Because I would have been.
and then
deserved it.
and then from there where I just kind of brushed that I'm like okay, great. And then the next thing he opens his mouth and starts bragging about his several $1 million houses.
Right.
Yeah. And so at that point it's like, oh, I am going to leave now.
Why do I
Yeah.
care? Bye.
Yeah.
But
Well, and to be fair, Selma
depressing.
Hayek, ugh. Right, she's Mexican, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, actually, she is.
Yes, actually, and she was an undocumented entry into the United States.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
send her back. Come on, Trump.
Who else
Trump,
got their Mexican?
Trump.
Actually,
Selena?
Adam ruins. No,
Selena.
she's
No, the one. What was her name? The one that died.
Selena.
Selena. I can't think of her
Yeah.
last name, but
Yeah.
killed by her.
Yeah, she was
But-
Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Adam
Yeah, she
ruins
was
everything.
Mexican.
Does a really good bit on.
Adam ruins
immigration.
everything is awesome.
I love that show.
Okay,
He's got to ruin his own thing. Adam ruins everything.
they're starting to do skits at the end of them. They're
Oh, so he's
pretty
ruining
good.
it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You'd have to see the one where he gets eyeglasses ruined for him. Hilarious.
Yeah, that was good.
I watched that. It disturbed me.
Yeah.
I'm
A
just
little
gonna.
bit.
I'm only shopping from Clearly Contact. That's the only
I'm
place I'm
gonna
getting.
get my prescription and go online from now
Do you know
on.
how many
Yeah.
free pairs of glasses I've gotten?
No.
From Clearly Contact?
Zero.
No, between Jen and I, 4.
Four.
Nice.
4 eyes.
Or no, sorry, 4 pairs of glasses for
Four of
$20.
Okay. All right. Let's.
This-
do-
I'm really
part is
enjoying
brought to you
this
by Clearly
conversation about
Contacts.
multi-level marketing. It's really fascinating to me,
yeah, it's
as much as it's infuriating.
Like a
it
train
is an
crash.
infuriating topic.
And I think
Yeah.
I think it's very important to talk about some of these topics because though a lot of people understand that, and I don't want to sound like super biased by like, oh, it's just all bullshit. But it is good to look into and go into some of the the facts of how these things operate.
No,
and
you
people
should-
need to be cautious. I would
call
say
them out for what they are, like
would-
Beachbody and
Yeah.
Fifth
Yeah,
Avenue
you go
jewelry
in
and
saying bullshit, and then they have to sway you
Yeah.
to believe them. That's the way it should
And-
be.
Melaleuca.
and
Mellow.
anybody any advice you should go in very like tread very lightly, like be skeptical going in, and at the very least the first thing you do, Google them, like
Yeah.
that is just is
Yeah.
X a hoax or is X a pyramid scheme, is X fraudulent,
skeptical of.
Or
yeah,
Yeah.
and
www.bbb.com.
That's right.
Yeah.
Better Business Bureau.
Yeah.
You should do that when you're car shopping too, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Not against brands, but against dealerships. Because
Yeah.
if a dealership has had enough strikes against it, it will not be even listed by the Better Business Bureau.
I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but in the U.S., some of them, like John Oliver did a bit about how they do their own credit
Yeah, the
setup,
car
and
loans.
it's pretty shady stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
let's move on to some logical fallacies. Today we're going to cover the fallacy of equivocation, which is the misleading use of a term with more than one meaning by glossing over which meaning is intended. Also known as to call by the same name, and is an informal fallacy, and also known as doublespeak. So, in common parlance, it is used in a variety of contexts. When discussed as a fallacy, equivocation only occurs when the arguer makes a word or phrase employed in two or more different senses in an argument appear to have the same meaning throughout. I.e., a feather is light. What is light cannot be dark, therefore a feather cannot be dark.
That's true.
Okay.
Except for it's not.
But yeah, but it's true.
So all jackasses have long ears. Gumby is a jackass. Therefore, Gumby has long
That's funny
ears.
because I was checking my ears. Oh, you got me.
The example I have actually says Carl, but I decided to pick on
Carl.
Carl's a jackass.
You can't pick on me. It would have to have an effect for it to be picking.
It's still picking.
No.
You still got to try.
I've also got the fallacy of equivocation occurs when a key term or phrase in an argument is used in an ambiguous way, with one meaning in one portion and another meaning in another portion. I.e., the law implies lawgivers. There are laws in nature. Therefore, there must be a cosmic lawgiver.
Duh.
Right? Okay.
It's Carl.
Carl's the law.
Big ears, Carl.
Carl's the cosmic lawgiver.
I was thinking more like I've seen that movie. It's a giant orangutan. It's on Planet of the Apes. He's the lawgiver.
Actually, I would say the lawgiver would be
Judge Judy.
Oh shit! The best cartoon ever.
Pinky and the Brain.
Invader Zim?
No. Well, yes, but no.
Batman.
Never mind.
Never mind.
And
Morty and
Rick and Morty.
Oh, Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Rick is
fucking awesome.
Is a lawgiver.
Yeah.
Well, this fallacy can also be kind of more subtle sometimes, like where it's not so obvious that it is a fallacy, just by slightly changing the definition of certain things, or calling, I guess, off the top of my head, if you would accuse somebody like Hillary Clinton's a liberal, therefore you must support the Liberal Party of Canada type thing, like where it's
right. It
where
means
it's like,
two different things.
Like we're assigning that a term, and then you think that automatically applies all over the place,
right?
Yeah.
Where it's very subtle. Like a lot of people would just like gloss over it. Oh, yes, sure, that must be true. Well, is it really though? Like that's where it comes into properly defining the terminology that you're using, and not. I guess that would be something that a lot of people would do, and
yep, for sure. Like, well, even just the idea of making sure that someone knows you're a small L liberal versus a capital L liberal. Like, I'm liberal, but I don't necessarily identify with the party liberal.
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of them most of them that are committed are very subtle like that, of sort of changing the definition of things, and
just
then
slightly.
And then you kind of instruct your argument, and then as you go along, the definition of certain terms and words sort of change to the point where you can kind of twist the end of your argument into something that isn't actually true.
Yep, for sure.
Yes.
Sounds pretty convoluted. Not gonna lie. Not gonna do it. Sorry, I don't do a very good voice.
Do it. Yes.
All right, I think we have an Atheism for Dummies bumper. Let's do that.
You would be correct.
Let's do that.
If you're not daily walking in a place of relationship to God, then the news that we have to bring you is that you're on your way to hell right now.
Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree, Meg. I'm an atheist.
I suspect that the Pope is an atheist.
I don't believe in God.
He doesn't believe in God.
Dog doesn't believe in God.
So
Does he believe
today
in dog?
we're covering the teleological argument. It argues that there is a purposeful design in the world around us, and a design requires a designer. Cicero, William Paley, and Michael Behe use this argument, as well as others. It's also known as the argument from design.
Or the watchmaker argument.
Yes, the blind watchmaker is Richard Dawkins' thing.
Yeah.
I actually know this one because I caught this on, Crash Course.
Okay.
They actually did this one.
I think I may have watched that. Not when I was researching this today. But so the argument is that the universe is astoundingly complex, but a highly ordered system, or that the world appears to be fine-tuned to provide exactly the right conditions for the development and sustenance of life. The complexity appears to make natural explanations unsatisfactory. I found that there was quite a bit of interesting history that went all the way back to some level of Socrates, and they up to St. Thomas Aquinas. It's an interesting history to this one, unlike some of the others. But basically, it's evolution is the opposite of this, where evolution shows that despite the appearance of complexity or design, there can be natural explanations to these things. It doesn't necessarily lead to any particular God, but only to a kind of intelligent creator. And the argument of intelligent design and fine-tuning are the same argument, but newer versions of them.
And the one thing that this always leads to, well, there's like two things in one. You kind of alluded to it already, but the one is if that logic applies, that if there's a watch, there's got to be a watchmaker, or then if there's a watch, there's got to be a watchmaker, and then there's got to be a watchmaker maker.
A watchmaker maker.
And then it just kind of keeps going. That's one of the problems that is always addressed right away.
Yeah.
And the other one is that even if you're going to accept all of this, it only gets you to sort of a deistic thing, like where it is still not any closer to defining who this watchmaker is, or what this watchmaker is. So they're two very, very present problems with trying to prove a specific sort of deity or a specific kind of creator.
It doesn't say, this is obviously the Christian God.
Yeah. So
you just have to believe
it. It is a very popular, or it was at one time, a very popular argument among Islamic apologists.
Mm-hmm.
So they very much like
Christians.
that.
Considering,
and Christians too.
Considering, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, it's all supposed to be the same fucking God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's interesting that they pick different things that they like the best.
Yeah. Slightly different culture, slightly different filter.
Yeah, that's right. My favorite reaction to it is from Douglas Adams, which I think we were talking about earlier. I don't know if it was on air, but he says this is rather as if you imagine a puddle waking up one morning and thinking, "This is an interesting world, and I find myself in an interesting hole. I find myself in. It fits me rather well, or rather neatly, doesn't it? In fact, it fits me staggeringly well. It must have been made to have me in it." Yeah. So it's I think that blazes out pretty well the opposite of what the teleological argument actually means, or should be.
I feel like we have destroyed that argument and nobody will ever use it again.
That would be fantastic.
Is there any chance that is the case?
Next.
That would be fantastic. Bullshit. Next. Okay.
The Supreme Court has ruled.
Yeah, that's right.
We could create a Raz bumper from the old days and just
from the old days.
Play it when we get to one
Bullshit.
of these.
Next. Yeah. Okay, so we're at the end of this episode, so I'm going to do there's no new patrons, so I'm just going to remind everybody that if we get up to $25 an episode, then I'll make videos out of our interviews, post them to YouTube, and add an entire section of the show notes just for those.
Come on, Aaron. Stop being cheap.
We're only $4 short. We have
$4, Aaron.
$21 an episode right now.
Wow.
So
we're so
Corey will
close.
also make you supper and do your dishes.
Dave's a liar.
You heard it here.
You don't want Corey to make you supper.
That's true. Unless you want McDonald's.
Or KD.
Or his favorite sandwich from back in the day,
What was it?
ketchup and mustard sandwiches.
There was always relish.
Sorry, or ketchup and mayo was the sandwich.
Ketchup and mayo. That's right.
The life-sustaining condiment sandwich.
That's right.
I recently heard of a new sandwich that apparently is common. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. It like where you just put sugar on toast and then eat it.
Yeah, that's
like is that like it was a totally new thing. I had never heard of it. I was like,
I used to put sugar on waffles.
Like white sugar or brown sugar?
Not like I think it doesn't. Either one.
I've heard it as, but mixed also with cinnamon. I've heard that.
I've had brown sugar and cinnamon toast.
See,
cinnamon
toast.
But just like white bread, like
when you're
sugar.
poor, you come up with some interesting things to eat. And
are you sure it was sugar?
Though,
it was a white powder.
Yeah.
Well, it was a person that told me that when they were kids, they would often have this. This is what they would make when like they wanted a snack. And I was like, my mom would have left me in the dumpster to die if I'd done that. Like, that was absolutely not acceptable to put white sugar on white bread.
You
and
break it
then
down.
eat it.
Like Wonder Bread is sugar. That's all it's made out of.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're just putting sugar on sugar. Who gives a shit?
As far as your system is concerned, it's the same fucking.
Shut up and eat your diabetes.
Yeah.
I used to make icing.
Diabetes.
So sugar and butter.
Yeah.
And a little bit of milk.
You made icing? I would just
did.
eat the bought icing.
Really? You know what? I didn't know what bought icing was until I moved out of my parents' home.
And then you bought it once and went, ew, and then you still make your own icing.
This is bought icing.
I go, it
I can eat
depends.
this.
It depends. Because my care cup sometimes is empty when I'm making a big fucking birthday cake. It's like, fuck that shit. I'm spending $2
I pay
on the Betty Crocker.
I pay a lady an obscene amount of money to make birthday cakes.
Anyway,
see,
we have a new iTunes review.
Back to the podcast.
Oh.
Let's hear it, Corey.
From Atheist Mom, she gave us 5 stars on
Thanks,
the Canadian
Mom.
store. So she's from
Atheist
Canada.
Mom.
Thanks,
Nice.
Mom.
What a fun bunch. I love how they are so skeptical and willing to change their views based on evidence. So that's a pretty good endorsement. I feel good about that.
That's pretty as ringing an endorsement as you can really hope for.
Yeah, that's right. I had some back and forth with listeners after the last episode on Twitter, and everybody thought it was pretty funny.
Sweet.
It was a lot of fun.
It's all about the dead baby jokes.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Which brings me to our listener emails. Will sent an email letting us know that the dead baby jokes were not over the line.
Well,
we're so
I would have
funny.
to disagree with him.
That's just like your opinion, man.
But we're so funny that he got a headache and almost blacked out because he couldn't breathe from laughing so
So
hard.
thanks to Will, we're going to introduce a new segment.
No.
In which I will not take part.
He also sent a
Leo
diagram.
and I will be in the deprivation tank. 2 floors down.
The shit tank.
He also
downstairs.
sent a diagram of his cubicle environment. We were talking about that the one episode. And I think just by looking at it that he must at least be disturbing 6 people when he listens to the show.
Good.
Maybe even more.
That's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
So in other words, we got one guy that likes us and 6 to 7 people that probably fucking hate us.
Yeah.
That's probably a fairly fair demographic, actually.
that's probably pretty damn accurate.
I think so too.
That means we're doing something right.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, it's a pretty small sample size. We should actually see how many people will actually hate us and we piss off. 'Cause that'd be great.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't mind making the phone calls. So just grab a phone book.
So
we should just say that if people hate us, they should send us an email letting us know.
That's right.
Yeah, that
We
would be-
deserve
that-
hate
that-
mail.
That'd be great. I would love some hate mail.
And if you really hate us, become a patron.
Yeah, shit.
And listen to us every
And listen to us
week.
every single week. Okay, so we also got a message from Brother Brewer of the Skeptics Brew Pub podcast, talking about the tumor research article we were discussing, which I think was Angela's article last time. And
I'm drawing a blank.
That was a long one.
he's just suggesting that we get Lauren Udhe. I hope I said that right.
How's it spelled?
On UDHE.
UDH.
Udi,
Oh,
aka
Smith.
the biology babe.
Smith.
Udi?
Udi.
I'd say Udi.
Okay, Udi.
And the book.
Lauren Udi on, aka the biology babe. He said he interviewed her on his show, and she's a great guest. So I'll
That's a good
send her
idea.
an email.
And we should probably have Mr. Brewer.
Yeah, well, we could definitely plug his show.
Yeah. And maybe he'll listen and
if he has a promo, by all means, send it over our way.
We don't have anybody paying for advertising, so we might as well do it for free.
Does anybody have things to plug?
Back in the day when we ate condiment sandwiches, like when we went for supper.
All right. So you can find our stuff at facebook.com/brainstormpodcast, twitter.com/brainstormpod, or brainstormblog.net, or thebrainstormpodcast.com, and so on and so forth. Angela, what do you got?
Just the usual. I got to take some photos of a band last night. That was fun.
That's cool.
Tequila Mockingbird, local cover band at the Ardful Dodger.
Erdford Dodger.
You were there last night?
I was, yeah.
I was there last night.
Were you?
Yeah, there's like an executive party for the...
Yeah, we were there before everything got going. We were there during soundcheck and stuff.
Where the hell were you?
I was like where the buffet ended up being.
Oh, I wasn't like near the front probably, so I don't know.
Because I got there just
front.
after 7 and we left I think at about 9.
Oh, I got there just after you.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because we went into the library because there's lots of cool books and furniture there that is a really good backdrop for photos.
A lot of money in that room later on at night.
Was there?
A lot of money. A lot of big executives.
Nice.
Like Warner Music was there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. A few major players like that.
Wow.
The same label that Broken Social Scene is on.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, yeah. Continue.
Don't say that on live radio.
I didn't say we should. I said we could have.
Oh. We have probably 5 or 6 minutes before we're cut off of our 3 hours.
7 minutes. 7
minutes.
So, what else you got?
Just photography. That's all.
So your usual links, I have a bunch here.
Just my Facebook page is Angela and stuff. That's me.
Okay.
And you can follow me or friend.
She
or
likes
whatever.
stuff.
I'd like stuff.
She does the things.
All the
I do
stuff.
the things.
All
Renee,
the creative stuff.
You do the things?
No.
Do you make a good pretzel? You make good pretzels.
Renee does none of the things.
I've been toying with the idea of starting my own blog, but I haven't gotten past the pondering stage.
Keep on. Do it. Do it.
Do it, man. Yeah.
My own ranting and ravings.
Yeah.
You could start some good arguments, I'm sure.
Leo got a haircut.
As well as other things.
But not a real job.
You have things?
Well, I also cut my goatee, which made me kind of sad.
You look like 12.
Why did it make you sad? Was it your choice or was it not your choice?
It was my
Always
choice.
Okay.
Well, it's going to grow
sad
back out.
after the fact.
Well,
They grow back?
It'll grow back.
It was
Science,
like,
motherfucker.
I'm going to cut this off. Oh, no, I shouldn't have cut that off.
I was like, I look so naked like this.
Is that what my face looks like?
Yeah. Like, no, let's cover it up.
Rogaine.
Undo.
Control Z.
Damn
Control
it,
Z.
this isn't a computer. All right, Gumby, what do you got? Nothing. You have a new Twitter.
Yeah, and I don't remember my Twitter handle.
You don't.
I Twitter all the time.
Did you have one before?
It's
you have
Ken Bone.
No, it's
Ken Bone. Yes.
It's actually a really clever one.
Skeptic.
13, I think.
Saskeptic. SASKEPTIC. So Saskatchewan Skeptic.
All right.
Sask
and I have a million things.
No, not Sask Skeptic.
Saskeptic.
Saskeptawan.
Saskooadoo.
Skeptic?
Saskeptic.
Gotcha. I scribbled out the first SK.
Yeah, that's right.
He's so clever.
I'm actually
5 minutes and counting.
What I will plug is I am looking for anybody that wants to help with something. I am trying to launch my nonprofit.
Multi-level marketing?
No.
Well, actually, that just occurred to me.
That's nonprofit for everybody else.
A pyramid scheme.
No.
We want to get it on?
It's a nonprofit I want to start where it's actually a grocery chain that all proceeds at the grocery store go to the to putting food in all the shelters and all of the
okay, so once you
soup
start
kitchens
it,
and stuff like that. Yeah,
we'll add links.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
Anybody that wants to help, just email the podcast. Corey will send it to
Yeah, that's right. I will forward it on.
There you go.
Sweet.
Okay. I have a Facebook page, The Hardcore Skeptic. I have...
He doesn't have any friends, though.
I have lots of friends. I have infinite friends.
All the friends you don't even know.
I have all the friends.
4 minutes.
All the best friends.
Everything else is about the podcast, Brainstorm Podcast, skepticstudio.com, shifttoreason.com, or shifttoreasonradio.com.
How many
So
websites do you
we have as many URLs as we need.
We have all the URLs.
So let's hit that outro music, and I'll get through this before he interrupts me.
Corey does have little hands, though.
Yeah. So that's where we're going to end the episode. Before we go, I want to make sure to mention the website, brainstormblog.net. We have comprehensive show notes, including any notes that I made regarding stories and any notes that the rest of the crew gives me for their stories. Shift to Reason updates. No Shift to Reason in 2017. The vote has been cast. We are not doing it till 2018. You can get bonus content, full-length ad-free episodes, and other bonuses by becoming a patron at patreon.com/brainstormpodcast, just like Daryl, Will, Rob, Nathan, Destin, and now, and George and Stephanie, because they were new last week. You can join us for the next live broadcast by following us on Spreaker. Just enter the Brainstorm Podcast into Spreaker search bar, or you can go to our website, brainstormblog.net, and check out the live show page and the upcoming events page. The AB Secular Conference starts tomorrow. If you don't already have your tickets, I think that you can still get them. I hope that you're going and that you have a good time. Remember to rate us and write a review on iTunes or Stitcher, and hit that subscribe button. If you leave a review, then let us know, and remember to tell us where you're from so we know which store to look in. Thanks, Dave, for our intro music. Thanks to Alex Kapper-Murdoch for doing the voiceover for the intro and some of our ads, and thank you to Jason Comeau for the outro music. You can find his stuff at aloststateofmind.com. All music played is either with permission or under the SOCAN license to play. For more information on SOCAN, you can check out the music license info on our website, brainstormblog.net. T-shirts, mugs, and other cool shit is available at cafepress.ca/brainstormpodcastgear. We love to hear from our listeners, so send us mail@brainstormblog.net, or go to our website and hit that contact page. Also, hate mail. All the hate mail is good too.
It's probably all mine.
If you have a podcast or website and want a shout out or have a promo to play, let us know. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in a couple weeks when we bring on our new crew member, Lisa, to see how she likes being a new member of the crew. All right, and that's it. We're out.
This is an opinion-based podcast. Each person on the podcast is responsible for their own opinions, and those opinions don't necessarily reflect the views of the rest of the panel. Any guests or anyone associated with the people on the podcast, such as spouses, partners, children, other family members, friends, or employers. No one person speaks for the podcast, with the possible exception of Corey, and he doesn't speak for anyone else on the show. The Brainstorm podcast does not represent the views of our sponsors.
We just wanted to say thanks to everyone who listens to us, shares the show, gives us a rating on iTunes or Stitcher, or supports us through Patreon and Gumroad. We don't have a lot of interaction sometimes with our listeners, but what we have had proves that we attract some of the best people around. Smart, kind, and cool. An audience truly worthy of the titles hardcore and woo-free. Thanks for helping us make the world a smarter place.